Now, because we're running a bit short of time, I just want to quickly touch on these questions. Going back to Don Brash again.
Yep.
Do you subscribe to Dr. Don Brash's purported bedrock values? Bedrock values.
Yeah. Well, what I would say is, to make a community work, it's really important that we can be mature enough to celebrate diversity, but also mature enough to be able to work out what it is that binds us together. So I wouldn't think that setting up a community in New Zealand that never integrates with anyone else is a good thing, not because of itself it's per se bad, but it would be very isolationist. You know, it would be locking people out of New Zealand. And I've been making that point that I think that we should focus not on the elements of diversity, but focus on the things that unite us as Kiwis. But be mature enough to say, hey, there are different cultures and spiritual beliefs in lots of different communities. I personally think that New Zealand is a much richer country for having, you know, Bollywood dances and all sorts of other things going on. And from a food, cultural, and you just go and have a look at the Lantern Festival. More Pākehā Kiwis turn up to that than Chinese now. New Zealanders want that. That's the future.
Excellent. Now, just the last question I'd like to ask you about Don Brash was, now, what concessions were given to him for stepping down altogether from Parliament? There
were no concessions, but I'm certainly of the view that Don has a great contribution to make in other areas. I mean, he's a man that's had a tremendous history in New Zealand. I personally think the Labour government should pick him up and put him into some of the SOEs as a board director, maybe consider him as an ambassador. They've done that with Jim Bolger, our former Prime Minister. We will certainly do it with some Labour ministers if we win the government and the election in 2008. I tend to look at people and their skills, and I'll be using them across a broad range, and I'd encourage them to use Don Brash.
Now, speaking of Labour ministers, Helen Clark, your counterpart.
My arch nemesis.
She's completed now almost basically 25 years in politics and has announced her intentions of running for a fourth term. Where do you see yourself in comparison to someone with such mammoth experience?
Yeah, she's got political experience, there's no question about that. But then on the other side of the coin, I wonder whether you get a bit institutionalised and when you're in Wellington all of your life, and you lose touch with, you know, everyday New Zealanders. You know, I've come from a different background. I grew up in a very poor household in New Zealand. I was brought up by a solo mother. I've worked internationally in Singapore and London and New York and in New Zealand a lot. So while I may not bring as much political experience, I certainly bring a lot of life experiences. And I'd back those experiences to be the right principles and leadership to bring to New Zealand. And while I'm respectful of Helen Clark and she's been a successful Prime Minister, we're hopeful that this is her last time as Prime Minister, and we can bring to the country a new face and a new way of doing things, and I think New Zealanders will welcome it.
Now, John, this is the multi-million-dollar question. Now, how ready are you? How ready are you to take control of New Zealand?
Oh, absolutely ready. I wouldn't take the job if I hadn't. My caucus colleagues rely on me, and I think New Zealand needs a change of government. I think over the next 10 or 20 years, unless we get it right, we'll miss the great opportunity. If you have a look at China and India and the fast-growing nations of Asia, this is the first time in our history we've been in the fastest-growing region. We need to tap into that, because that's what pays for the healthcare and the education and the family support that we deliver here at home. So I'm absolutely ready. I'm there to win. The National Party is there to win. We have to believe in that, and if you don't believe in that, there's no point in doing the job. And we need support from everybody. We hope everyone will vote for National and give us their party vote, but we're there to win.
Okay, so there hopefully shouldn't be a book published.
There won't be any book. No, well, maybe a biography one day, but no, not necessarily a book of the other sorts. No.
Okay, just a quick couple of questions to finish off. What is your stand on the whole Auckland Stadium fiasco? I mean, it's just been in the media, it's been overhyped, there's people that are throwing spanners into the works. What's your personal take, and what's National's take more importantly as well?
Well, you know, it is a fiasco. Well, the first thing is we have to get it sorted out, because there's no way we're going to lose the rugby hosting rights for World Cup 2011. I mean, I think the Waterfront Stadium, opening up the waterfront was a good idea, and the stadium had lots of risks around cost and buildability. My view is either Eden Park or North Harbour Stadium, which is in my electorate, might be the right options, but we need to get on with it and make sure we're ready.
Definitely do. Now, just to finish off, our viewers would probably like to know a little bit about you as maybe potentially our new leader. What are a few of your hobbies?
Well, I like playing. Well, my family is probably my number one hobby, and I say that because,
good answer.
Well, the truth is that in politics you spend so much time. You know, you're taken away. That when I can, I spend my time with our kids and my wife. But you know, I like playing golf. I take Max, who's my 11-year-old son, if we ever go and play on holiday. Things like that. I like cooking. I was on on the cooking show the other day, and I love Indian food. So,
So would you say Indian food's your favourite?
Yeah, it's my number one food. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
by far. Yeah. Well, I like all ethnic food. We never go out to unless some other thing. We always go out to ethnic food for dinner. Partly because I don't make it so much at home, but it's great.
Is there a standout favourite food?
Well, Indian's number one.
Indian's number
Thai's probably two.
Cool.
So but Japanese is too. I like sushi. So
On a personal front, your strengths.
well, I think I'm decisive but pragmatic. A pragmatic person is someone that's prepared to look at all parts of the equation, but ultimately will make a decision. So I think that's definitely a strength. And the other thing is I think I can understand a lot of information in a hurry and make reasonably good decisions. So that's important.
And I know you might not be willing to reveal that, but what are your weaknesses?
Well, sometimes, I don't know, in terms of weaknesses. I mean, of course, everyone's got them. I sometimes say anything instead of anything. That's definitely a weakness, which I get written letters on.
Now, we obviously know you're very passionate about national and you're very passionate about assuming the leadership of New Zealand. What else are you passionate about? What drives you?
Well, I'm passionate about New Zealand. That's the main thing, that the country can do well. But I'm also incredibly passionate about my kids. I want them to do really well. I want them to grow up in a place that they enjoy, in an environment that's both safe and clean and green and feels nice, and for them to have opportunities and to feel as though that they can really do some great things in their life. I mean, one of the things that really worries me is that New Zealanders don't always set their aspirations and their goals high enough. Actually, they're capable of achieving a lot more, and we want to sort of lift the veil on that and make sure that every young Kiwi kid sort of says, look, I can shoot for the stars and achieve it.
Now, it's quite evident that you're a very successful, intellectual, well-travelled man, because you've seen so much of the world. Is there one place that stands out from the rest, which you could call a favourite holiday spot?
Yeah, we have lots of places we like going to. I like Singapore. I lived there for a year. I tell you what I like about it. It's a remarkable story. In 1965, New Zealand gave aid to Singapore. They were very poor under the Colombo Plan. Now they're one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Their people are well educated. Their food is fantastic. They're a multicultural society, and they're winning. They're very successful, and it's a great place to holiday. My wife likes shopping there, so it's pretty good. I like Singapore, but there are lots of other parts of the world. Italy is a great country too. I love Italy.
Now, suit and tie can be very boring. It can be very monotonous, and I'm sure it's not your most favourite.
No, definitely not. No.
So I mean, what John Key? What does he like to wear?
Yeah, shorts and a t-shirt, and no shoes. I hardly ever wear shoes. I never wear them around the house.
So typical Kiwi.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, half the time I dust the suit and tie. I mean, obviously for my job I need to wear it, but a lot of times I do quite a lot of interviews without suit and tie on. I mean, I think actually the public kind of likes seeing you in sort of more laid back thing. And I'm 45, so I don't exactly wear a tie to dinner at nights. That's for sure.
Now, could I stereotype you in saying that your favourite sport, like all other Kiwis, is rugby?
You got it in one. I was no good at playing it, but I like watching it. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, John Key, I'd really like to thank you for joining us at Inside today. It's been a pleasure interviewing you, and all the best for the future. Hopefully, we'll get to see you soon.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. All the best.
Thank you.